All blame is useless. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. Having compassion for yourself and for society solves a lot of issues. It solves a lot of problems. It saves a lot of time, and compassion is just thrown around, that word. But I think it also has to do with judgment, non-judgment, and we have to end that judgment in order to have compassion. I don't think you can have compassion without working on your own judgments and understanding them. But as you go deeper, you start to realize all of this is just distraction. And the deeper you go, the more you realize that knowing yourself is the only way to be, having clarity, knowing yourself is the only way to stop wasting time and energy on things that don't really matter in your life. We can blame others, for our problems. We can blame ourselves for our problems. And that's where self-compassion is so important. That we even stop blaming ourselves for our problems. And we just deal with our problems. And we stop even worrying about blaming. And in that way, compassion for self allows us to let go of negativity more easily. And I've definitely experienced this in my life. I definitely have judgment. I definitely judge people. I judge myself for things I do, and I judge others. And so I work on that. And that's an area of focus for me. And it's somewhere where I can say, oh, this is a way for me to stop wasting time and stop wasting energy and judging other people or judging life or judging society or any of it, right? You can sit in that state of judgment as long as you want, You can sit there and you can judge and you can waste your time and waste your energy. Or you can realize that everyone is struggling with their own circumstances that have inevitably made them the way they are at this time, and the same with you. And then also, everything's in flux. So that's why compassion is so important, but also so elementary in us having a true healthy mental state, in having true mental health. Compassion is sort of the first stepping stone. Self-compassion, saying, I forgive myself, or I don't even need to forgive myself because I didn't really do anything wrong, because so many of my life circumstances weren't my fault, that I'm a part of this bigger system, and in so many ways that was just circumstantial. You ended up doing certain things and having certain behaviors because of circumstance. And so that's why self-compassion is so important. Otherwise, you'll just waste your time and you'll waste your energy. And I think the first instinct we get into when we're struggling with learning society is just to sort of like blame. We blame. And we can't help it. And that's sort of part of our, at least the way I see it, it's part of our cultural conditioning also, is to blame, which is another trap, right? It's just an endless trap. We blame society, or we blame, we blame ourselves, and it's this trap. It's this waste of energy and waste of time. And so that's why it's so important that we do things to improve our own understanding of ourselves and what we really want. And we do things in a disciplined way, repeatedly, because the repetition is the problem. The repetition of said things, right? Advertising, all of it, that's the problem. So, you know, through using things like affirmations or, just habits in general, just adding healthy habits into our lives, we're trying to reverse that sort of repetition that we've been trained into and enculturated into. And you can call it indoctrination. You can say, oh, we've been indoctrinated. You can say all this stuff. But even that's still just a waste of time. It's just another waste of time. So the only thing we can really do is say, what do I want in my life? Right? And we can end the blame game, and we can, start to realize that all the negativity that we have is actually just waiting for us to let go of it, and to once we let go of it, that it's actually wealth. It's wealth and wisdom and spiritual wealth, for lack of a better term. It's spiritual wealth. That's all that negativity is, just waiting. It's just sitting there waiting for us to let it go and to start focusing on what we actually want out of life, and not focus on what's coming at us all the time, right? And to realize that if we don't choose our path, then it'll be chosen for us. So we have to choose our path. So for me, I have a lot of stubborn negative emotions. They show up as anxiety or anger, or as sadness or depression. And self-compassion for me shows up as patience with myself and as courage. So for when I'm being truly compassionate with myself and others, it comes out as courage, because it says, it's not really courage, it's just logical. Compassion is logical in that way, because you're looking back behind everything, and it's like you're realizing this person started as an infant, just like you, right? And they were brought into the same society as you a lot of the times, or whatever society they were brought into, and all the little different nuances in who they are, on top of whatever their particular body is dealing with, is just it's all culminated together to make them who they are. And so in a way, it's not their fault, right? And that's what's so crazy, is because even the most evil, what we would consider evil people or evil actions, those people oftentimes thought that they were doing the right thing. And that's how strange it all is. So it's utterly strange, but it's also something that the longer we sit and stare at it, the more energy we're wasting, the more time we're wasting on it. Instead of saying, okay, what do I want in my life within the confines, of the system I'm in, right? And so we just have to let go. And that, to me, that's the only logical answer, is to let go. Because otherwise you're incapacitated. You can't provide anything anyway. You can't provide anything in your own life, and you can't provide anything for society if you're so incapacitated by, this crazy world we live in. You become completely incapacitated. And it's just illogical.